Hey everybody, I hope everybody's doing well during these times. So I wanted to add to my Flash collection. This is a picture that I got at Comicon. It wasn't the Comicon yet, but it was, I guess, the beginnings of Comicon. Back in 2002, when Geoff Johns was writing for the Flash and Scott Kollins was the artist. This is when Wally was the Flash. And this is what the artwork looks like before it becomes a comic book. So when you open up a comic book and you see those tiny little images, this is what it looks like before it becomes those tiny little images. And I believe this cost me $20, and Scott actually autographed it. Let me get a little close up of that. You can see to Brian. Enjoy, Scott Kollins, in 2002. And up at the top, you see where it says F178, and that is the comic, and then the number 10 is what page it's on. So when you buy a comic book, now you know how it's made. So I've got another picture that I want to include with this that I got at the same Comicon, and I have something more to expand on that too. So hang tight. So, as I was leaving the Comicon with my friend Kurt Kundert, this poster that I'm showing you right here was given to me. Now, if you'll notice, it's autographed by none other than Geoff Johns. That's the first one. And then underneath, Scott Kollins. And, of course, this is Wally. My favorite is Barry, but Barry was dead at the time. So I took what I could get, I guess, as they say. So that was my first Comic-Con. I'd never been to any Comic-Con. My friend Kurt said, hey, let's go up, check this out, see what it's all about. Apparently he had been to a couple Comic-Cons before, so for him it wasn't a big deal. And then, when he told me that the guys that are doing Flash Comics were going to be there, I'm like, oh, well, I'm on board with that. So I got to meet the guys. He was standing off to the side, and I was talking to the guys. Nobody else was there. This was at the Gold Room up by the Space Needle up here in Seattle. It was the first time they had done something like this. Again, this was 2002, so this is a couple years ago, and they were kind of trying to make a big deal of this. I don't know whether most people would say they succeeded. But let me continue the story with their pictures, so hang tight. Okay, so here is a picture of Geoff Johns on the left, myself in the middle, and then Scott Kollins on the right. And I don't know if you can see the autograph there on the left side. I brought that to a Comic-Con years later, and I asked Geoff Johns if he remembered that. And he was like, wow, yeah, I do remember that. This is really cool. And I asked him if he could autograph it. And then I got another picture with him, which I'll show in just a second. But expanding on this one, after I paid for the picture of Flash and Gorilla Grodd, I was walking away, and Scott said, hey, you know what? I think you need to have this. You're a huge Flash fan, obviously, so I want to give you something. So hang on a minute. So called Geoff over. Geoff autographed it. And then Scott signed it, dated it, and then he just gave it to me. And as he was handing it to me, he said, this is the last one I've got, but I think you need this. And I was like, wow, so how much do I owe? He goes, no, I'm giving it to you. Like, whoa, thank you. This is really awesome. So I thanked him and walked away. Of course, I got the picture before, I left. This picture right here. And then as I'm walking away, my friend Kurt smacks me on the arm. And I'm like, oh, what was that for? And he's like, what the heck, man? I've been to a lot of Comic-Cons and I never get anything for free. I'm like, okay. So he's like, well, I guess I got to start taking you to more of these stuff. Maybe I'll get some free things. I'm like, okay. So we met. Kurt and I met in 2000, and then we went to Comicons, almost every Comic-Con every year that they had one. And then when he passed in 2009, I kept going, kind of to honor him, I guess you could say. But yeah, so hang on, I'm going to show you the other picture I got. All right, so here's the other picture I got with Geoff Johns. And also, I got a picture with Doug Manke. Now, Doug was not the artist for The Flash in 2010, but he is a big name in comics. You can Google him and he'll come up, and he's drawn quite a lot of things for DC. So I asked if I could get a picture with him, or I think I've worded it a little differently. I think I said, can I get a picture? And I have my scrapbook, and he grabbed it, and he's like, sure. So he drew me this picture of the Flash for free. How many artists do you know that do that? Not very many. In fact, probably none. Usually they want some kind of competition, but I was just thrown away, and I was like, blown away. And he drew the picture, and then we talked a little bit about his run years ago, where he drew several pages for a Flash comic. They did kind of a collaboration, and he was one of those. And I actually have that. So anyway, and then my son took a picture of him while he was drawing the picture, which is up there in the corner. Sorry for the glare. But yeah, so anyway, that's a little bit more of my Flash stuff, Flash history, whatever you want to call it. And there's more to come. So anyway, there we go.